What if I told you that most people don't realize they're making life harder for themselves until it's too late? That the very things stressing you out right now might be lessons you could learn today to avoid future regret? Life doesn't hand out cheat sheets, but luckily, I do. Here are 5 life lessons you'll either learn now or wish you had later. Lesson number 1. The world doesn't wait for you to be ready. Imagine this. You have a big opportunity. A job interview, a relationship, a life-changing decision. But instead of jumping in, you tell yourself, I'll do it when I feel more confident. Spoiler, that confidence might never come. Entrepreneur Richard Branson exemplifies this mindset. He often emphasizes the importance of taking action even when you don't feel fully prepared. His approach? Act despite the fear. Lesson number 2. The people who matter won't judge you for changing. Ever noticed how people react when you start prioritizing yourself? Maybe you say no to plans, switch careers, or set boundaries. Suddenly, some people don't like you as much. Here's the kicker. That's a good thing. Growth is uncomfortable, not just for you, but for those who benefited from your past self. The ones who truly care, they'll support your evolution. The ones who don't, they were only there for the version of you that served them. Let them go. Lesson number 3. Perfectionism is procrastination in disguise. How many times have you delayed starting something because it wasn't perfect yet? Newsflash. Perfection doesn't exist. It's just a fancy excuse to avoid failure. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, where overthinking stops you from actually doing anything. The fix? Aim for 80% good enough and just get started. Whether it's a creative project, a fitness goal, or a major decision, taking messy action beats waiting for perfection every time. Lesson number 4. You're not as stuck as you think you are. Ever felt like you're trapped in a situation with no way out? Job you hate? Relationship that drains you? Life that feels stagnant? Your brain tricks you into believing your options are limited. Psychologists call this learned helplessness, when repeated struggles make us believe we can't change things. But in reality, you always have choices. Even small steps like learning a new skill or reaching out for advice can shift your entire trajectory. You're not stuck. You're just used to standing still. Lesson number 5. The most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. We spend so much time trying to impress others, bosses, family, even strangers on the internet. But at the end of the day, you're the only person who has to live with your choices. A Harvard study spanning over 75 years found that the biggest factor in long-term well-being isn't money or fame. It's the quality of our relationships. Prioritize your mental health, stop seeking validation, and start treating yourself the way you treat your closest friend. Okay, great. These lessons sound wise, but how do you actually use them? Here are some detailed strategies for putting these lessons into action right now. Feeling unready? Start by identifying a decision or action you've been delaying. Break it into the smallest possible step. Send the email, schedule the meeting, take the first step. Action builds confidence, not the other way around. Worried about losing people? Write down the names of the people you're afraid of disappointing. Then ask yourself, do they support my real growth, or just the version of me they're comfortable with? If they don't align with your future, let them fade away. Perfectionist? Set a good enough standard for your next task. Give yourself a deadline and stick to it. Done is better than perfect. Feel stuck? Identify one part of your life where you feel trapped. Then brainstorm 3 things, no matter how small, you can do today to create movement. Whether it's learning a new skill, changing your routine, or talking to someone who's been where you want to go. Struggling with self-worth? Start a daily self-check-in. Each morning, write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. If you wouldn't say something to a best friend, don't say it to yourself. Remember, learning these lessons now means less regret later. So, which lesson hit hardest for you? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Remember, the sooner you learn these lessons, the better off you'll be. So why wait?